An absolutely world-class strike from Mesut Ozil is the difference as Arsenal claimed 3 points at the Emirates. We'll hear from Rafa Benitez on his thoughts, on his opinions on the game. Frustration is in the air. You can clearly tell fans are getting frustrated. And will the takeover happen? When will it happen? Hi everyone, Yaris. Welcome to Newcastle Fans TV on another disappointing day for Newcastle, not picking up anything in the Premier League. But you know, it's a much improved battling performance. We don't demand a team that wins, we demand a team that tries. You've probably seen that over social media that we've posted today. And Newcastle made us proud, I have to say. And anybody who slags off Newcastle clearly didn't watch the game. Just the end of the quality, the end of the day just didn't shine it through at the end. What we're going to be do for you today is obviously we'll look at the lineups. We'll talk quickly about the game. We'll also hear from Rafa Benitez in just a moment. We'll also have a look at the league table, which doesn't look very great reading tonight. And we'll also talk about we've got a week off now from games, which is probably a good thing for Newcastle. But let's get on with the lineups. We'll begin with Newcastle, how they lined up. So you know, a couple of surprises there was Matt Ritchie on the bench, Dwight Gale on the bench were the first two, but he went with like the 4-2-3-1 formation, with it was Elliott, Yedlin, Lascelles, Lejeune, Manquillo, Hayden, Mourinho, Murphy, Perez, Atsu and Hoslu. So looking at that lineup, you think, okay, so he's brought Rob Elliott in. That was a bit of a surprise as well. Lascelles and Lejeune, it looks like they're going to be our first two choice centre-backs. Paul Dummett was on the bench. He's likely to start next week. Gale and Ritchie were the two surprising ones for everyone, and obviously we knew that Shelby was suspended. Arsenal side, they went with again 4-2-3-1. They went with Cech, and then it was Bellerin, Koscielny, Monreal, Maitland-Niles, Xhaka, Wilshere, Alex Iwobi, Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez, and Lacazette. No massive surprises there from Arsenal, except from Maitland-Niles kept his position. He looked quite impressive, in particular the first half. So going into the Emirates, you know, it's a difficult place. You know, I've only ever known us to win 1-0 at the Emirates, where Andy Carroll scored a few years ago. I think it's 2010, before they played at the Highbury. And, you know, it was all Arsenal coming out the blocks, and Newcastle were trying to hang on, you know. You've seen a couple of efforts. It was off the top of your head. You've seen Maitland-Niles come beat two players, shoot wide. You've seen Xhaka shoot wide. Who else we've seen Mesut Ozil score an absolutely world-class goal. Now, you are going to probably pick on a few players, then fair enough, but you've just got to say, okay, that is some goal by Mesut Ozil. If you haven't seen it, oh man, it was just quality. And you know, the cross comes in by Alex Iwobi first time. Sanchez can't really get a hold of it. Newcastle can't clear. It was Florian Lejeune heads it away, and then he just volleys it. Not so much top corner, but Elliott, should he have at least attempted to dive? Maybe, maybe not, but it's some technique by Mesut Ozil. Absolutely fantastic. And we went in 1-0 down. You're thinking, right, okay, it's 1-0 down, fair enough, but we're still in the game. I was tweeting, I was looking after the Twitter account today, because it's my time this weekend to keep an eye on the Twitter account. But, you know, I kept saying, look, we're still in this game. As long as we have something to fight for, we'll go in second half. In second half, you know, Sanchez cuts from the left, deflects just wide. And then you've seen Elliott almost done a dollar, which worried me. It was like a shot was like tackle, deflected, Elliott palms it, and then Maitland-Niles also almost has a tap in, but he clears it. It was very similar to the Darlow one in midweek. But when he changed Christian Atsu, Rafa gets criticised a lot by fans for the substitutes, but he made an early one in the 53rd minute where he brought off Christian Atsu and brought on Matt Ritchie, and then Newcastle started to go down that right flank a lot of the time, and it worked, and Ritchie looked very, very impressive with it. And in particular, I remember him whipping a ball in later on where Ayoze Perez, who was switched to the left when we went 4-4-2 later on, had a free header and he headed wide. But, you know, we had a couple of chances in that second half. We've seen Murphy come in, shoot. You know, we said Hoslu had his shot deflected, which was unlucky just to go wide. You know, we're trying to get the box, long balls. We're going direct. We're mixing it. We're going on the wings, left and right. You know, it's disappointing. We didn't get something from the game. But I'm so... proud is probably... I would say proud. I'm going to go and say that. I am. Because, you know, the only thing that beat us at the end of the day was an absolute world-class finish from a world-class midfielder, attacking midfielder. Mesut Ozil goal, that's the difference. We don't have the quality, and this is what I'm going to touch upon in just a second about having a week off. What we'll do now is we'll hear from Rafa Benitez on the defeat.
Complain about the attitude and the work rate of our players, so they are giving everything, and always I say that we are where we are, we have what we have, but they are doing so well in terms of effort, and and trying to do things that you cannot complain. The only thing is sometimes in the final third we are not lucky enough. We have 2 or 3 chances at the end, and then they have a couple of chances and they could win for a bigger margin in the first half. But still to stay in the game, still to work as hard as we were working and had chances, means that this team still is fighting, and I think that the fans, they appreciate that.
Yeah, okay, so we're all disappointed. Rafa's disappointed. I am. You are watching. Now, we'll have a week off, and I think that's come at a really, really good time, because we've played a game every 3 days, like all the other Premier Leagues, but we must be on the worst run at the moment. We'll look at the league table in a second. But now we'll have a full week off. Because obviously we'll travel, the lads will be tired, they'll have the day off tomorrow, and they'll be back in on Monday. Now, if that was a midweek game on Wednesday, we've only got 2 days training. But because we've got the full week off, it's beneficial for Newcastle to come at the right time. And the game next week is huge. Biggest game of the season, without a shadow of a doubt. West Ham away down in London. Yes, West Ham, you know, they picked up some points today, but that is huge. That's our biggest game without a shadow of a doubt. Never mind a point. This is a must-win game against West Ham. We have to win this game, because if we were to suffer defeat, you know, we could be bottom. Never mind second, third bottom. We could be bottom after that. And we're all banging on about the takeover, wanting to happen. We need this to happen. We need this to happen. And that's all we're talking about at the moment. That's the only shining light at the end of the tunnel. What if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't happen? We're screwed. You know, Rafa's got to work with this side that is, no disrespect to the lot of lads, aren't Premier League quality. You know, I look at that team today, and I have to say, Mikel Mourinho looks so much better when Jonjo Shelvey is not in the side. Now, Mourinho, when he goes forward, you remember the 3-0 win against West Ham, is absolutely world class. Shelvey was suspended. In that period where Mourinho was finding his feet, Shelvey was on the bench even when he came back from suspension. Mikel Mourinho, without a shadow of a doubt today, was the best player in the park for us. Without a shadow of a doubt. You could say that Lascelles was good and Lejeune was good and different points, but for me, he's a find, and we're going to not have much money in January. And Rafa's already went to Lee Charney on Thursday and said, these are the list of players I want. These are the list of players I want to sell. Go out, get them. And he's also said in the press conference that they need to go out and find the players early, because he was really disappointed. He was pissed off in May that he didn't get his players in. And I'm starting to rant a little bit, but he's right. It's important. And people who have a go at Rafa Benitez, we don't need Rafa Benitez out. The people who are calling for that need to look at the whole situation of the club. We don't have any fucking money, right? When he was let down 3 times since he's been here. 3 times since he's been here already that he's been let down. And it's a fucking miracle that we're still in the Premier League and he's still our fucking boss. See you later.